Welcome to AMHA's Educational Institutions, Mathematics Departments. Hello, grade 7 students. Today our chapter will be about power misconcept. Let's start by the following. 2 times 5 is called the double of 5. 5 times 5 times 5. 5, it's a repeated multiplication 3 times, so it's the cube of 5. While 3 times 5 is the triple of 5, 5 times 5 is the square of 5. For simplicity, the double is to multiply a number by 2, the triple to multiply a number by 3, the square of a number is multiplying by itself 2 times, while the cube of a number is to multiply by itself 3 times. Now let's complete using the table. Here are our options. Let's solve them. In the first line we have 10 times 10 times 10 times 10. It's a repeated multiplication. Okay, to abbreviate it, I have to write it in the power of 10. How many times? Our 10 is repeated 4 times, so it's 10 to the power 4. 2 times 2 times 2, we can consider it 2, nothing above it. This means that it's a power of 1. 2 first time, 2 second time, 2 third time, then it's 2 to the power 3. It's a repeated multiplication for 3 times. Now 10 to the power 3 times 10 to the power 2, the 10 is repeated 3 times, then another 10 is repeated 10 times. So it's 10 for 5 times, 10 to the exponent 5 or 10 to the power 5. The last one, 2 to the power 4, all to the power 2. We know that wherever we have parentheses, in mathematics we mean by it multiplication. So it's 2 to the power 4 times 2, then it's 2 to the power 8. Powers, starting by the rules. A times a to the power 1 times a to the power 1. Since we have the same base, we add the exponent, we add the powers. A is repeated 2 times, then it's a to the power 2, or a to the exponent 2, or for simplicity, a squared. Now, a times a times a, it's a to the power 3, or a cubed. But what if we repeated this a for n times? N, it's an indefinite number. We don't know how much, so we can say it's a to the power n. Okay, a to the power n. We can spell it the nth power of a or a exponent n. Okay. Here we have 8 to the power 2. The base is 8. The number that is repeated is 8. It's squared or power 2, so it's repeated 2 times. 8 times 8 equal to 64. Then 8 squared equal to 64. Okay? In words, 8 to the power 2 could be called 8 to the power 2 or 8 to the second power or simply 8 squared. Now 5 to the power 3, it's 5 times 5 times 5. 5 to the power 3 means 5 multiplied by itself for 3 times. Our answer is 25 times 5, which is 125. The same, we can name it 5 to the third power or 5 to the power 3 or simply 5 cubed. Start by 0 to the power n. It means that we have let's take an example, 0 to the power 5. We have to multiply 0 by 0 by 0 by 0 by 0 5 times. Our answer should be how much? Every number multiplied by 0 equals to 0, right? So 0 to the power n could be any number, is 0. That's the first rule. Another rule says that 1 to the power n. Okay, let's take an example, 1 to the power 100. Let's multiply 1 by 1 by 1 for 100 times. our answer should be 1. So whatever the number is, 1 to the power n is always 1. This is a second particular case. Now, a to the power 1. Let's take an example, 9 to the power 1. Our answer should be 9, written one time, so it's 9. The a should stay the same. Okay, now by convention, a to the power 0 equals to 1. Any number to the power 0, it would be 1. Now, what are the rules of calculation? Here we have 7 to the power 4 times 7 to the power 3 times 7 to the power 5. This 7 is repeated 4 times, then 3 times, then 5 times. How many 7s are there in all? Multiplied by each other. 4 plus 3 plus 5, 7 plus 5, which is 12. The rule says that if we have the same base, البيز هو النمبر that is repeated، يعني اللي عم بيكون مكتوب تحت. We have to multiply numbers of same bases with each other. We have to keep it the same and add the powers. Okay, so for simplicity, it's 7 to the power 4 plus 3 plus 5, it's 7 to the power 12. Again, 10 to the power 2 times 10 to the power 4 times 10 to the power 3 times 10 to the power 6. We have the same base, which is 10 in this case. Different powers, 2, 4, 3, 6. We should write the base, which is 10, and add the powers. 2 plus 4 plus 3 plus 6 equal 15. So our answer is 10 to the power 15. We can abbreviate this rule by writing a to the power m times a to the power n. This dot means times. We have the same base, so we write the base and add the powers. That's in case of multiplication. Fine? Now, let's move to another rule. We have 2 to the power 3 all to the power 4. As we said before, when we have parentheses, it means times. The parentheses separate between the powers, so I have to multiply the powers. That means it's 2 to the power 3 times 4, it's 2 to the power 12. Similarly, 5 squared all to the power 3 means it's 5 times to the power 2 times 3, which is 5 to the power 6. So another rule now, a to the power m all to the power n equals to a to the power m times n. Why did we multiply it? Because we have parentheses between the two powers. Fine? Now, 5 times 7 all to the power 2. Here, in this case, power 2 means 5 squared times 7 squared. Similarly, 3 to the power 5 cubed. Since there's a parenthesis, so this cube should go to each factor of them. 3 to the power 3 times 5 to the power 3. Okay? But what if we have division? It's the same rule. Since we have parentheses, then the power goes to every factor of or every number inside the parentheses. Okay, 4 over 5 all to the power 3, it means 4 to the power 3 times 5 over 5 to the power 3. What about powers of 10? Again, 10 cubed, our base is 10, the number that's repeated is 10, while the exponent or the power is a 3. It represents how many times our base is repeated. Okay? For example, 10 to the power 3, it means that we multiply 10 by itself 3 times since our power is a 3. 10 times 10 times 10 equal to 1,000. Again, 10 to the power 4 means 10 multiplied by itself for 4 times. Our answer is 10,000. 10 to the power 3 times 10 to the power 5, we have the same base, different exponents, so we keep the base as it is. It's 10 to the power 3 plus 5, which is 8. 10 to the power 8. 10 to the power 2 all to the power 3. Since we have parentheses between powers, we have to multiply them by each other. Then it's 10 to the power 2 times 3 or 10 to the power 6. 10 to the power 0, as we said, a power 0 equal to 1 by convention, and 10 to the power 1 equal 10. We should know that as we multiply, the numbers get larger, and the exponent tells us how many zeros we need to add. Here, 8 times 10 to the power 10, 10, it means to the power 1, since there is no power here, so it's 1. Then 8 times 10 equals to 80. 8 times 10 to the power 2 is 8 times 10 times 10, 8 times 100, which is 800. We can, for simplicity, look, what's the power here? 2. Then we have to write 2 zeros next to the number. Okay? 8 times 10 to the power 3, we write 8 since it's power 3 and multiplying by 10. So we should write 3 zeros. M equal 5 squared minus 3 times 2 cubed all to the power 7 plus 5 times 2 minus 3 squared. For the first time, it looks so long. Maybe you are right, but it's so easy to solve. If we follow the PEMDAS rules. Do you remember it? First, let's start by decomposing into terms. We have to solve what's inside the parentheses, then the powers, then if we have multiplication or division, and the last step, the addition or subtraction. What am I talking about? Let's see. 5 squared is 25 minus 3 times 2 cubed is 8. I'm solving now the powers inside the parentheses. The others stay the same. The next step is we have 25 minus 3 times 8. What of them has more priority? Subtraction or multiplication? Of course, the multiplication. So it's 25 minus 3 times 8 is 24. And I write the others the same. All to the power 7 the same. Plus 5 times 2. Again, we have addition and multiplication, so priority goes to multiplication. 5 times 2 is 10. We replace them by writing 10 in their place. Minus 3 squared, which is 9. The next step is we have to solve inside the parentheses. 25 minus 24, it's 1 to the power 7. Again, 1 to the power n is 1. No matter how many times I multiply 1 by itself, our answer should be 1. Then m equal 1 plus 10 minus 9. 1 plus 10 is 11. 11 minus 9 is 2. Then m equals to 2. That's all of it. Please don't hesitate to contact me if you have any concept that you think that you misunderstand. It's time to solve some exercises. Enjoy it. Thanks for your attention.